let's get into how to play Propolis at 2 players. Again, I'm going to assume I'm saying Propolis right. That's how I'm going to say it. If it's different, then it's different. And I'm going to keep saying how I want to say it because I like the word Propolis. So to set up, you are going to give each player a player board. They're going to grab their 6 resource markers, placing them all in the one spot, including the wild. You're going to know it's their player board based on the color. You're going to give them all of their Beeples. You are going to keep 9 by you, put 3 in a central supply. You're going to shuffle up the double-sided structure and landscape cards, landscape side up. These are face down. You are then going to deal out 2 rows of 5 structure cards each. You are then going to deal out a row of 4 of landscape cards, a number of rows based on player count. You're then going to shuffle up the queen structure cards, the queen structure side up, deal 1 to each player, and then make a row based on player count. Again, in 2 player, it's going to be 5. Each player is then going to flip it over to get to their starting structure and increasing their starting resources based on what's on that card. The player with the lowest numbered starting structure will be the first player. Propolis is going to play over many rounds until one player has 10 structures, including their starting structure and a queen structure if they grab it. You'll finish out that current round so there's even number of or equal number of turns, and then you'll move into scoring. So on a player's turn, they're going to do one of 5 different actions. So the first action is they can deploy their worker Beeples to the landscapes. When you deploy them, you are going to deploy them to an empty landscape card. The landscape card has to be completely empty. You then can send as many as you want, 1 to each space. So in this instance, if I want to go here, I could place just those 2. I could place just that one, or I can place all 3. When you place it on there, in these instances, you're simply going to just move up those resources like so. You have this one where if you place here, you're going to grab a B from the central supply, and this one is going to allow you to swap one of your resources with another resource. However, you cannot swap it into a wild resource. If you placed it and covered the last available spot in a row of cards, you would gain a wild resource. The next action you can take is fortifying your worker Beeples. In order to fortify a worker Beeple, you are going to lay it down on its back. So you can do it up to 2, and it can be on the same card or different cards. So if I say had these down here, and I want to fortify, I could fortify this one and say fortify that one. When you fortify it, you are going to gain the spot that it is on again. If you fortify a Beeple again in a row that has no available spots, you will again gain a wild resource. You are not allowed to refortify a Beeple, so if a Beeple is laying down, you cannot fortify it again. The next action you can take is you can retreat your worker Beeples. You can pull back as many as you want of your Beeples on the landscape cards. You do not need to vacate a card entirely, so I could just say go ahead and grab those and bring them back, leaving that one on that card. Another thing you can do on your turn is you can construct a structure. So these are the structure cards here. Down here at the bottom is how much they cost to build. So when you look at these costs, if it's got a little Beeple, then you have to send one back to the central supply. The rest of these you are able to spend based on your resources here and any permanent resources you have on your structure cards. So for instance, let's say I want to build this barrage house. I'm going to simply look at it. It wants me to send a Beeple back to the central supply. It wants me to have 3 blue. Here's 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 here. I then place it here into my area, replenishing it to the row. Certain cards will have bonuses, such as this one. If you build this one, you'd be grabbing 2 Beeples from the general supply, or if it's got this green area here, this is going to be endgame scoring. And then as I already pointed out, these are going to be permanent resources. Brings us to our last one, construct a Queen's Palace. The Queen's Palace cards are up here. In order to build them, you need to meet the requirements down here. And the difference between these and the regular structures is that you're going to still have to discard that many Beeples, but it wants to have this many permanent resources. You cannot spend your resources in order for the Queen structures. You're going to be spending, or you're going to make sure you have the proper structures right there. So for example, say these were the structures I have, and I want to go ahead and build this hyacinth house. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4 beeples would go back to the central supply. I have at least 2 of that permanent resource, and that wild can be 1. I have 1 of those, so I will grab that. You are only allowed to have 1 queen structure in your tableau per game. They are also not refilled, so now there would only be 4 available for the future. You'll also notice these cards have these little banners on them, and this one is an X. This is a wild banner, and those banners matter for a lot of endgame scoring, such as that card. After you do one of those 5 actions, you are going to move into your turn end. On the end of your turn, you're going to look at the rows of landscape cards. If there is a row that has no completely empty landscape cards on it, you are going to check for majority. So in this instance, we're going to check for majority in this row because every card has at least 1 beeple on it. When you check for majority, you are going to count the points for the beeples that are present. Every standing up beeple is worth 1. Every laying down is 2. So in this instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 to 4, so green 1. Had blue been here laying down, this would be tied, and no one had majority, and we move on to the next turn. But in this instance, green had the majority. The player who has the majority is going to take back all of their beeples to their supply. If that player was not the active player, they would gain a wild resource. I'm going to point out this is where you cannot get 2 wild resources in the same turn, so you would not be able to fulfill the row or place the beeples to fulfill the row and get that wild, and then still get it for having majority, because it's only if it's the not active player do they get the wild resource. Once they have all been returned, you are going to remove the rightmost landscape card to the discard pile. You are going to slide the cards over to fill in that gap, replacing it with the next landscape card. The players who did not win majority do keep their cards there, and they will count the next time majority has happened if they are still there, if they have not been retreated, etc. So again, the game will end once someone has 10 structures in their tableau. Equal number of turns, and then you'll move on to scoring. You're going to score points based on what your structure cards say. So some of them are straight points. Some of them want you to look at certain flags. So this is 2 points for every set of B and C. Reminder that the queen structure is a wild one. Certain ones also want sets of resources. So in this instance, this is 1 point for every 2 of the purple. That includes permanent ones and any that are left over on your board. And speaking of those resources on your board, you're going to total them all up, divide it by 5, round down, and you'll add that to your score as well. And then as usual, most points is the winner. So that is the basics of Propolis. If I could get you to head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. Let me know, do you like bees or do you not like bees? In addition to that, if you're looking to purchase board games, we have partnered with Miniature Market. Use our link down below. If you use that link, we do get a portion of those sales back to help fund the channel. In addition to all of that, if you're looking to add a pep to your step, why don't you try Dubby, a powdered energy drink we have also partnered with. We have a code called Beeples that you use at dubby.gg, or you can use our link down below to get a discount and give us credit for that sale. Alrighty, now behave.